Hello and welcome to episode 32 of The Board Crew. I'm your host what am I? I'm the host with the most, Deek, and joining me is our number two and the owner of this house this humble abode that we're in today. It's Ben.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. It's in the words of the Springfield, Massachusetts band Stained. It has been a while since I've been on this episode, since I've been on the podcast with you. Shout out to Catherine, who came on as a guest and then loved it and has been doing more. And I think she's kind of earning a lot of favor with our followers. So if you love Catherine, shoot off in the comments, let us know, and we'll get her back in there more. Yeah, a great asset to have. But how have you been, Ben?
Pretty good. Yeah. Yep. It's been and we've even been playing some games together, which has been good.
We have.
We are getting ready to go away and play a whole weekend of games. So,
yes, yeah. I'm counting down to 3 days of just non-stop fun playing board games with you and a bunch of other people. My wife is not counting down to it because she will be on solo parent duties, but very, very excited to be getting into it. Of course, when this episode goes live, you're hearing this, we'll have already come back from
there.
Yeah, so let's pretend. Oh man, how good was it? How good was it?
So amazing.
It was
that game with the bits where, I won, and then that game with the other bits where you won.
Oh, don't spoil it.
Yeah.
Save some for the pod episode.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. Well, today we are getting into just two games today. I have a very surprisingly solo game.
Oh.
Yeah, solo only.
Never saw it coming.
Yeah, I know. Blindsided you. What is your game?
I've got a more than solo game, although I think you can play it solo. Haven't tried it solo.
Yeah, 1 to 4. It says on the box 1 to 4. I'm looking at it right now.
1 to 4, called Applejack by famed Uwe Rosenberg.
All right,
or Uwe?
Uwe? U-W-E.
I should have looked this up. He's so famous. He does so many great games.
Wasn't there a director who made really bad video game films called U-Bowl? And I think it was U-W-E as well. Maybe it's you, Rosenberg. Maybe I'm not pronouncing you bowl right all these years. Either way.
Anyway, he makes great games, even if I can't pronounce his name correctly.
Absolutely. Apologies for not being able to say your name, but thank you for the games. Let's dive into it.
All right, so first up we have Applejack by Uwe Rosenberg. And this is a 1 to 4 players, 30 minutes. So if you played some of Rosenberg's games before, you're probably thinking worker placement. That's kind of his jam.
Jam and honey.
You've got things like Agricola, Caverna, Feast for Odin.
I've heard of Feast for Odin.
Lots of those. The other one that he's often known for is tile laying games. This is more of a tile laying, sort of making a grid with hexagons. It's called Applejack, but it's really about honey. It's collecting the most honey.
What a misleading name.
Yeah, and misleading box cover too. Like, it's just a guy with apples and sheep, and you don't want sheep. And apples are fine.
Yeah.
But you just want honey.
Is there honey on the box at all?
There's some bees flying around the field. But, and he has some honey products around these apples.
Oh, okay,
But he's like holding the apple and looking at the apple. And the name is Applejack. And theoretically, you've got an apple orchard that you're making.
Maybe the name of the guy is Applejack.
No, I don't know. Anyway.
Uwe, we just like your game, but we don't know the name.
We don't quite get the theme.
Yeah.
Look, this is a fairly short Uwe game. It's only sort of 30 minutes, it says on the box. I think our game probably was about 40 minutes or so.
That was our first time in teaching as well.
Yeah, and that was with a teach. It's pretty simple, basically. You're going to be laying these tiles down, and tiles might have hives on them. And what you're trying to do is match up 2 hives together on the side of the hexagon. And when you match 2 tiles with hives on both sides of the hexagon, you get the lowest value hive out of that pair. So if you match a 2 and a 5, you're going to get 2 honey. If you match a 1 and a 9, you're going to get 1 honey. So the trick is trying to match those high pairing. And you have to pay for every tile that you pick up, the amount of honey that's on the hives. So it will have 5s. And all the hives are always the same on each tile. So it's quite interesting. You get apple harvests, but we worked out that that's not the way to win the game. Well,
No.
Alison completely creamed us. Deek and I were fighting so hard over apples, and we were so proud of ourselves that we got like all the apples, and we were going to get this big end game bonus, and then Deek beat me by 1 point, and we were like, oh, congratulations for winning. And then Alison's like, oh, by the way, I've got like triple your scores.
Yeah, we were the definition of like tunnel vision, horse blinders. Like, as long as I beat Ben being as long as I beat Deek. And then Alison's over here racking up points like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah. So basically, you're just going to be trying to lay those tiles in a way. I found it interesting at the start of the game, you basically have no honey to buy. And you're scraping by going like, oh, I can just afford this tile. I've got to make it pay off because I've got no money to like.
Winnie the Pooh would be just furious at the start of this game.
But then kind of it goes over 3 rounds. When you go into the start of the second round, you get what's called a blossom harvest where you get like honey for all your flowers that you've got on the board. And just that extra injection of honey makes this massive difference of suddenly you can buy anything you want. And it's no longer about, can I afford? It's about which ones have the best honey and the best apples. I found it quite a pleasant little game. The rules were fairly easy and straightforward. It felt like it didn't outstay its welcome by the time you completed your little orchard. I think you got 18 turns or so.
Yeah, it felt like a generous amount in half an hour, 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And you always knew, the good thing about it is that you always knew kind of what you could do a few turns in advance, just looking at the schedule of things, because it's divided into shapes, isn't it? And I was a triangle, you were a square, Alison was a circle. So I'll look at all the triangles and know, okay, in the next 3 turns or something, these apples or honey opportunities are going to be available to me. Do I wait for them, or do I, the second turn could be even better for me? Do I just get apples then? You can kind of choose it and time it ahead in advance, which is really, really nice.
Yeah, and you can also see which apples are harvesting and when they're going to harvest. So it's kind of, there's not much hidden information. There are new tiles that come out that can be triggered by someone, meaning that you've got no choice, which is really nice. When you've got no choice, you suddenly get heaps of choice. It's great. Yeah, so I thought it just worked really well. It felt very different from a lot of Rosenberg's other games. Yeah. So it didn't really remind me. I mean, he's made such a wide range of sort of right down from Bonanza, which is a funny, silly little card game about trading beans.
Yeah, I want to play that. Yeah. I've heard such silly things about it.
Yeah, it's great. All the way up to kind of like a Feast for Odin where you got like 70 worker placements and and you're going to be there for sort of 4 hours, like placing and working out complex things.
So Mr. Rosenberg, he's not a one-trick pony. He can cater to so many audiences.
He can. It does have the usual Rosenberg kind of agricultural theme about it that seems to be a constant across all of his.
Feast for Odin, Bonanza, which is what, bananas, and then this is beans, and then this is Applejack.
This is Applejack. Agricola is all about farming. Caverna is basically just what if dwarves went farming. Indian Summer is about like just laying leaves on a forest floor.
I wonder what his childhood was like if he lived on a farm or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
Could have been. Could have been idyllic pastures.
He does love pastures and stuff. I reckon this is a solid one. It didn't get as much buzz as some of his other ones, but I guess it's a lighter weight than some of his usual fare. So maybe people have passed it by for that. But if you're looking for a light mid-weight, slightly abstract tile laying, I reckon it's solid.
I don't have much of a contrast for his other games. This is the only Rosenberg game I've played, and I really enjoyed it. I don't know, maybe on par with you, maybe even just a tiny bit more. I really enjoyed the feasibility of knowing my turns in advance rather than saying I'll wait for this person to take a turn and then I'll figure out my next turn. It's not I can figure it out as I go.
Yeah, it was really clever actually, that iconography of going, these will be the tiles you'll get to pick from. Maybe one person will take one of those. But some of them are definitely going to be your pick. And they can only take one of them. So.
And there's some fun strategy in, do I want to get every single type of apple so I get bonuses at the end, Or do I just want to focus really hard on a small amount of apples and just get a lot of points and then nothing at the end of the game? So that's a fun little sort of dilemma as well. You and I think we both tried to aim for the bonuses. We tried to have an even field of all the apples, and it worked out well for us, but Alison just really pumped orange apples, which I'd never heard of before. I don't know if they exist. Maybe it's just this game, but there were apples that were colored orange, and she pumped out a lot of them, and she got a lot of points for it. So
yeah. She also did really well with matching up the hives. I think significantly better than us in getting those high value hives lining up. Whereas I was often looking at a tile and going, "Oh, that's got all the different kind of apples that I need. Who cares if it's a 2 hive? Like, I'll just put it next to my 4 hive. Who cares?"
And I really enjoyed. I said I enjoyed it, but I didn't at the time. Was when you'd place a tile and you'd not think about it, and then later on you realize what mistake you've made. I really wish I could have matched up my hives next to each other in a later turn to benefit from that. But this card is just so good. I really need apples, so I'm going to have to just sacrifice not getting any honey and hope for the best that I get apples harvested later and I get some honey that way. So that was fun. Do you choose the tile that has a bunch of hives and then get a lot of honey that sort of pays for itself, or do you wait for the end game and let the apples feast for you? Really enjoyed this game. Really fun. Very easy to learn, and also liked the sheep at the very end. We all ended thematically because I'm not sure if you mentioned, but if you can't place a token that you've got, you have to flip it over. And it's a sheep, and sheep are only worth like 2 honey. It's pretty useless. But by the end of the game, we all had 1 space left, and all 3 of us took a sheep and said, just for the theme, why not?
Yeah.
I don't think we could
because we couldn't match any hives, and it wasn't worth paying the huge amount. So it was an interesting, we all added some sheep. Anyway.
Enjoy it. I still think it should be called like Honeyjack or something, but still Applejack's pretty good.
So that's not honey, but Applejack. Highly recommend.
Well, Ben, I want you to cast your mind all the way back to last September.
Okay.
Do you think you can do it?
I have no idea what we did last September.
In September, you and I and Bronson did an episode, and Bronson did Flux. I did a print and play game.
Oh, was this a doorstop game?
Yes, the doorstop game. You did Earthborn Rangers. And yes, this was the doorstop game that started a meme on our Facebook page. That was a print and play game called Iron Helm by Grey Gnome Games. Jason Glover is the designer. I was told not to start with such a strong print and play game, and I went with Iron Helm, and that was really intense. My second follow-up is a game called Dungeon Pages, and it took me about 30 seconds to print it all out and pretty much have it ready to play straight away. So This is the print and play game. If you go to PNP Arcade, where I got this from, you will find it there on the front page. It's a featured game. It's called Dungeon Pages. It's by Jason Greeno and Jason Tagmeyer. Another Jason. I've got a thing for Jasons.
There you go.
and published by PNP Arcade, which of course is Print and Play Arcade. And this is a game. I've brought it in. It's a folder. I've brought in a folder with paper, and Ben probably thought I showed up with my work. It was just he just brought this work from home.
I was thinking maybe he's just brought notes for the podcast.
I can bind it with all these notes. What to say when someone says something funny. Make a joke. Oh, cool. It does look like I do have a folder, and it's got binders in it. It's got pages and pages in it, and it is a dungeon crawler. And it's all on pages. So Dungeon Pages, very easy name.
Yeah.
So this is the kind of game that you can almost get away with playing in a meeting. Almost. If there weren't dice rolling and if you didn't see a giant, archer avatar on the front of it, that would also give it away. But
I guess you could use a dice app on your phone or something.
You could.
Make it silent.
Yeah. You wouldn't just roll the dice on the floor and be like, Johnson, why do you keep bending down? Oh, I just keep untying my shoes. Oh, 6.
Yes.
I think that's good. So Dungeon Pages is, if I could very quickly elevator pitch it, it's pretty much Sudoku meets Dungeon Crawler.
Okay.
So you will buy the core set, which is very affordable. I think it was $9, just under $10 for the core set. That gives you 6 characters and gives you 6 quests. The great thing about it is you can print out as many as you want to, and then once you sort of solve a crypt or solve a dungeon, you can throw it away, but why waste paper? can laminate it like I've done, and then just use whiteboard markers, wipe them out when you're done. You go through a dungeon in the sense that you would roll dice, use those dice to mitigate the numbers you want, place them in some boxes, go around and place those numbers around things like enemies or potions or coins or treasure chests. And if you happen to roll or write down numbers that all are equal, then you can defeat a monster, or you can pick up a potion and you can get stronger, you get upgrades, and then you move on to the next one. Right. And so the way it works is, let's say, for example, I've got this in front of me here, Zafin, the Wandering Wizard. You're going to enter the dungeon. I've chosen one at random. This is like the introduction to the dungeon. There are 5 dungeons here. 4 of them, they're about the size of like smaller than your palm. They're very small. And then you have the boss dungeon at the very, very end. It's about twice the size of it. So you start off with a white dice and a black dice. And if you wanted to use your dice to get all the way to the bottom of the page where there's like a treasure chest, you'd want to have a sequential order of numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, as long as there's a 1 range in between the numbers.
Yeah,
if you
you can go up or down 1 or stay the same.
Exactly, yeah. So if you can make it all the way from the door to the treasure chest, that's the easy part. You get all the experience and you can level up. You can get better weapons. You can get better potions, more health, more dice to roll, things like that. But you're also tempted because in these boxes, you've got potions and coins, and you can use those coins to change the value of a dice when you roll it. So I've rolled a 4, but I really wanted to put a 5 down. Otherwise, I don't get the sequential order because the number is a 4 or something. I'm going to use a coin to change the number. So very simple kind of stuff there. It sounds like homework at this point, but I assure you, it's quite fun. It's the homework you can do in a meeting with a dice. The weapons you get change the way you can place dice. Place your numbers, I should say. So you start at the door. Let's say you rolled a 2. Yeah, sure, I'll put a 2 there. I'm going to hope my next roll is a 3. Or if it's a 4, maybe you can use your weapon to drop it down. Not your weapon, your dice to drop it down to a 2 or something. And your weapons will actually choose which direction you place them in. So rather than doing like a orthogonal, I can never say that word. Orthogonal direction, maybe you can go diagonally and you can venture off the beaten path and go over to try and collect a potion and then go back to the door and try and finish the level. Do that 4 times and then do that with the boss and you've won the game. That's essentially the whole vibe of it. You get attacked by enemies. That's what the black dice is for. They roll dice if it matches a certain number. Let's say for a basic enemy like a steadfast orc, if you roll a 4 or higher on the black dice, then they attack you for 1. If you roll a 3, you're safe. They dodge you, they miss you. Yep. Very, very easy in that sense. But the fun of it is just getting that dice, mitigating it, and figuring out. You feel so clever when you can figure out just how to get a matching number next to another matching number and get that potion. So you've got a 6 here. Do you risk it to say, or if I don't roll a 4 or a 5 or a 6, I can either go to the exit, finish the level, and just get like my XP, everything's fine. Or do I go for the treasure chest, which might have another weapon in there, which means my next run, I'm going to be able to choose any direction I want. Because I got a staff, which lets me go up and down, left or right, or diagonally. That sounds really cool. I'm going to go for it. And then you roll and you fail. And you go, okay, don't worry. Maybe I can change it with my powers. Everyone has an ability. Their ability could be, discard one of your white dice to change the ability and get rid of it permanently or something like that. Oh, it's a big risk to take. Take the risk. That's essentially the game in a nutshell.
So what happens when you fail? Let's say, like I'm going through, I'm like, okay, I need to get a 4 or a 5 here. Roll. I get a 1. I've got no way of changing it. Whoops, push my luck too much.
Yep.
What happens?
You basically don't get any of the experience. You don't level up or anything like that. You just kind of scrape your way out of the dungeon. Like if you just get stuck, if you're making some terrible rolls and you are moving so far away from the treasure chest and you just failed completely, you can still save yourself because you don't need to go. You don't need to line it up in a certain direction. You can put the numbers anywhere as long as at the end of it, there is a sequential line that goes from the door to the treasure chest.
But you could fail to get the treasure from a particular dungeon, and so then you just move on. Yeah. Wow, that's like Friday.
Is it? Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh no, I've dug myself a hole here. Oh, I should have said this game's terrible. I should never play it.
Yeah, because
is Friday, it really?
Yeah, you could. You go for challenges to kind of get new cards to make yourself better, and if you if you fail, you kind of fail forward. So you just like you do the next mission, but it's going to be harder because you didn't learn how to tie a rope basket or something.
That may be where the designer got their ambitions from, but yeah, that's essentially it, really. If you don't get the treasure chest, you don't make a sequential order. Like you said, you fail forward. You can move on to the next level, but you don't get all that juicy experience, which you can use to get more dice to roll. And of course, if you have more dice, more options for you to put down on the boxes and possibly net yourself an extra potion, which gives you more health, so you're stronger when you're fighting the dragon at the end. The dragon might be doing like 2 damage to if you roll 3 or higher or something like that. Ooh, you need to soak up some damage. Friday sounds good then. This is really fun. I've only finished it once, but it is one of those like cozy kind of Sunday morning games where it looks like you're like doing the crossword in a newspaper and no one wants to bother you and you look really refined. You have like a casting out of Mystique and then you're rolling these dice and that clank is kind of annoying every once, but lovely game. I have laminated them and I've actually cut them out so just to be environmentally friendly and also so I can replay them over and over again. I've cut out the top characters and then I can just flip through them like a binder and customize my run, which is really fun.
Yeah, nice. How long does a run take?
Look, that one particular run out of the 4, it can be 5 minutes, it can be 10 minutes. It just depends on how long you want to think about it. If you're quite used to it, about 5-10 minutes. If you're doing it for the first time, maybe 20, half an hour or something like that, just so you really wrap your head around how it works. You can pick up relics, like this one is the Ring of Good Fortune. You may re-roll 1 good die, which is your white die. As you get further and further into the dungeon, there are more black dice that are going to be rolled, so much higher chances for you to get hit and start taking damage. This is just the call, like I said, $10, but if... I wish I was around. I wish I knew about it back in 2023 because they had a year-long pledge or something where every single Friday they'd release a new quest. Right. So you could set yourself up for an entire year of just playing a new quest every Friday. But now they're all out. You can just buy more for like $30 or something like that, which is a bit pricier, but it's 52 quests, so not too bad.
Yeah, there you go.
Really,
if you're enjoying it, you can just dive in and get some more, I guess.
Okay, you can.
Every board gamer loves expansions.
Exactly. Oh, yeah, there's 52 extra quests. When you start with 6, is a huge expansion.
Yeah.
It's really, really enjoyable. I don't play it as much as I would like to. I think I need to be in a Sudoku kind of mood, really. I'm not when I play a solo game, I'm not thinking, I'm gonna, do some maths and I want to play Sudoku or crossword puzzles. But it is when I do play it, I'm half into it. I'm like, this is actually why I like playing solo games. I'm just in the zone. I'm really enjoying it. When I lose, though, I kind of like fold it up, just chuck it back in the cupboard and go, I'm not playing that ever again. And then 6 months will go by, I might pick it up again. But pretty good game. I don't want to go too hard on how much I like it now if it's just like Friday, because then there'll be more pressure. So like Friday. I'm closing it now. Either way, folder, go to Officeworks, print them out, or not work wherever you print your paper, basically.
Yep.
Dungeon pages. So we've played a solo game. We've played a game that can be played solo, but I'd imagine is more fun with more people, which I've only played it with more people.
Yeah, I don't even know what the solo would be. I guess maybe it's just a puzzle of how much apples you can get.
Or beat your own score or something. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, in one sense, Applejack is a little bit multiplayer solitaire in the sense that I didn't really mind. Like, it doesn't matter that your apple... you have more red apples than I do or something, other than I'm like, you got how much out of red apples this turn? Yeah, but it wasn't combative in any way. There's possibly taking someone's tile, but you're really just working on your own little apple orchard. And,
pretty much. You are in your own zone. You look up every now and again and go, oh, they've got a lot of orange apples. Okay, cool. Anyway, back to mine. I'm still making my orchard just because I like that about these kind of games. It's when you have your own board and you can just focus on your own board and everyone else is kind of just being nice to each other, which is why I like Wingspan. You're just doing your own thing. Another good thing about Wingspan is even when it's not your turn, you could be benefiting from it, but not everyone likes Wingspan apparently.
Yeah, well, see, the advantage of Applejack is it's like half the time of Wingspan.
It is, yeah. Look, I love Wingspan, but it does take a long time. I'm like, this is such a simple game. Why is it taking ages?
Yeah. And I think Applejack has that, like you said, there is a real solid advantage in being able to plan out your future turns.
Yeah.
That that's what gets that time down. If this was like a lot of these ones like Wingspan or even sort of Azul or those kind of ones where the board state can change so much by the last person's turn that it's really, I mean, in some ways that's good because that's an interactivity, but Applejack kind of says, no, we're just going to tell you all the tiles that are available for your next 5 turns.
Yeah.
And so you can start planning now.
Yeah. Or use the backup one in your storage. You do you.
Yeah, that's it. And so that ability means for the kind of fast turns that really thrive for this style of game.
Yeah, for sure.
Applejack would be terrible if everyone was taking like 2 minutes to decide which tile they put down.
you'd get the whole, that guy's on their phone, they're really not enjoying it now.
Yeah.
What's on Instagram at the moment? Well, the question we always ask is, which of the two would you like? I'll go first. I want to play Applejack again. I just really enjoy it. Like, as much as I like Dungeon Pages, Applejack's just fun. It's really enjoyable with more people, I reckon. And like you said, it just feels, I wouldn't say you feel like a pacifist, but you do feel like you're not too competitive with others. You just...
It's like a highest points wins.
That's it, yeah.
And person with the most honey, and you're not going to take honey away from your other farmer. You're just trying to be the best honey farmer somehow with apple and sheep.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know how the sheep work. I guess apples at least blossoms. Bees would come to them. I don't know.
They will.
I grew up on a sheep and wheat farm. Bees were not a part of sheep.
We haven't even talked about why there are sheep there.
Yeah, I don't know.
Do they eat them?
Some people were suggesting it's they keep the grass down around the apples and fertilize.
So they can thrive a bit more, okay.
But I don't know. Anyway, that's Applejack. I'd vote for Applejack too, just because it's not a solo game.
I wouldn't play Friday either.
I'm also not a massive Sudoku fan. So
okay.
I do love the idea of a solo dungeon crawl though. So, I mean, in that sense, the theme's pretty cool.
Yep. No, that's fine.
As much as putting down some apples.
Look, as I was explaining it, I was even like, this doesn't sound that exciting actually when I say it out loud, but playing it is very enjoyable.
Yeah, that's good. It sounds like it's got some real tension. If you're going to go solo, having that push your luck, the only person you got to blame is yourself because you went for that potion. Like you could have just gone for the chest, but you're like, nah, I'm going to pick up the potion as well. And
oops, ruined it.
Yeah.
Blocked myself out from the exit.
Too greedy.
Exactly. That's the vibe of it.
No door stops to save you this time.
Yeah, shout out to Jason Glover who commented and had a good laugh at the old door wedge, the ultimate weapon in fantasy dungeons. Well, it's been great getting bored with you. We'll talk to you again next time, Ben. Well, hopefully we'll see you playing Applejack again.
Sounds good. Bye.
This has been another episode of The Board Crew. Thanks for listening. Join the conversation by rolling over to our socials. Just search The Board Crew on Facebook.
This has been The Board Crew. Thanks for listening. I reckon that was a good episode, don't you reckon?
I should put that one in again.
It'll sound even weirder if you put the real one in and then I come in after mocking it. What a loser that guy is.